Okay, I think I'm live. I would just like to welcome everyone who has managed to attend today's Facebook Live call. And the theme of today is the dance of the divine masculine and feminine, the dance of divine attraction between the man and the woman, and the awakening of the fire of love into life's purpose and potential. And it would be wonderful if you could just let me know if you are here. Wonderful. I can see Carolina has joined and Magdalena. Hello, woman. Lovely to have you here. And please feel free to comment throughout the live call with any questions that arise. You can also just share how you're feeling or what has been touched for you during the practices that I'm going to guide and also what I'm saying. And then I can look at those questions and those comments at the end of the call. Um, so we're going to go into this theme for the next half an hour to 40 minutes. I'm going to speak about it, and then I'm also going to guide you into a practice. And we're going to start off with a drop-in meditation just to come into the union of our inner masculine and feminine, because that's really the key of this dance of divine attraction between man and woman. Is if we have that relationship with our inner masculine and feminine, then we can really come into deeper, intimate, fiery, passionate, loving connection with our intimate partner. And in the call, I'm also going to share with you what the fire is and how the fire can spiral upwards for healing and transformation, and how it can spiral downwards, which creates disconnection and hurt and pain. All right, so we're going to just drop into a practice. So you can just close your eyes. And you're just going to come into a quiet place within inside of yourself, an inner relationship. So feeling the presence and the container of the masculine essence around you and also through you, through the center of you. So the masculine comes all the way down through the head, through the throat, through the heart, all the way down into the belly and into the earth. You just feel that connection between the sky and the earth with the masculine. And the feminine is the body, the connection to the body. So just feeling your head soften and relax, your throat, your heart, and your belly. Okay, and now you're just going to stay dropped into this practice of just feeling that presence and that connection inside of your body. And I'm going to just speak a little bit more as you are dropped in about that dance of the divine attraction between the man and the woman, the masculine and the feminine essences. And I just want you to feel as I speak. Yeah, so the dance of that masculine and feminine is the in breath and the out breath. The in breath and the out breath. And now if you can imagine the dance of the masculine and feminine being like the bee coming into the flower. So you're just going to feel that bee coming into a flower. And the bee comes into the flower, and that flower opens and radiates. And that's the feminine essence. So the bee is like that masculine presence of love, attention, coming in to the flower. And the flower is like this radiant love and light that opens and glistens. That's all of life. So that's the feminine essence. The in breath, she radiates, she shines her love and her light into the world. And the masculine is that presence, that out breath coming down. It's like the infinity sign, yeah, of the existence and non-existence. So I'm just tuning you into more of that natural dance of the masculine and feminine. Yeah, there's this infinity sign. There's that bee coming into the flower, pollinating the flower radiating. The in breath and the out breath. So we as men and women we're in that dance of divine and attraction of the masculine and feminine. That's really the potential, is a pure creative potential of the man and woman coming together. They actually have the potential to create new life. Yeah, that's the potency of the creative energy that awakens and ignites between a man and a woman. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about that journey of the attraction. So usually when there are two souls that know that there is a potential of healing and awakening and creativity and transformation, they naturally start to come together. Yeah, so they are attracted to each other. The two souls know, like deep inside, they know, and they start to come together. The man and the woman, they start to come together, and there's this like field of attraction, yeah, that happens. And it's like those wounded places are attracted to each other because they fit into each other, and the attraction and the potential of the coming together of these two people is to really awaken and transform and heal those places. Yeah. So they're naturally starting to come together. You know, this one is in live stream, this one is in live stream, and there's just this, their worlds start to start dancing. Yeah. And really as I'm speaking, I want you to feel the that connection and that attraction that happens between the masculine and feminine. It also happens within inside of us. Yeah. But this is that dance between man and woman. So they come together, and then what starts to happen is that masculine presence in the man, like the bee, starts to touch, like the flower in the woman, that feminine essence in the woman, and that bee starts to come into the flower, and the flower starts to open, yeah, and she starts to soften, and she starts to glisten, and there's this flame of love that ignites between the man and the woman, and they naturally start to want to come closer together. But what starts to happen is as this flame starts to become warmer and hotter and more fiery, yeah, it's like the flame. If you think about the flame, it illuminates, yeah. So that flame of an illumination of the love of that sexual creative energy starts to illuminate all of those places, yeah, within inside of the man, within inside of the woman that haven't been loved. So all of the places that have been covered up in protection, that have been numbed out, that have been disconnected, that have been hiding, yeah, that have been shielded, all of those places start to get touched inside due to this coming together, this closer coming together of the masculine and feminine, the man and the woman. And the thing is that this is really the potential of the intimate relating, is that all of these places are ignited. So when there is presence infused inside of this flame that ignites, then all of these places that get touched can be loved deeper into wholeness, and that flame can start to ignite and spiral upwards. So I speak about the spiraling upwards, where that flame creates healing and wholeness and loving of those places that have been really buried deep down in the protection. And that spiraling upwards opens up the heart more, opens up more love, and creates more and more life force. And the two coming together can actually unlock each other's potentials. And there can be more and more of life purpose that starts to come through the intimate relating. But what often happens, because there isn't enough presence and consciousness, containment, and love with inside of ourselves, of course, first, but in the relating, there becomes a downward spiral. Yeah. So that fire starts to go like this. Yeah. It starts to flick. And when that fire isn't like consciously channeled and moved up into the heart and in presence and love, it starts to flick, it starts to disconnect, it starts to miss each other, it starts to lash out, it starts to withdraw. And what often happens is that, as the coming together and all of those tender places open and all of that love ignites, then there can be that place that starts to get scared and disconnected, and the fire starts to flick, and then there can be like a moving apart. It's almost like the two coming together, that attraction of that flame, it goes like that. Yeah. And what starts to happen in that downward spiral, I'm just going to give some examples. I know that you all know what this looks like, but so it can look like arguing, blame, pushing and pulling. It could be withdrawing from the relationship. It could be trying to hold on to the relationship. It could be like a lot of projection. And what it looks like is sometimes that like the words start to come and then they just can't stop, and it just starts to bounce off each other. Yeah. And it would be nice to hear from you if you know what I'm talking about. Just comment in the messaging. And then what starts to happen, so that's the one way. So when the fire ignites and it starts to flicker, can react like that. Or there can be a trying to connection, despair, hopelessness, loneliness. So it can go that way as well. And it can like almost feel like you're so stuck and you're so caught, and you don't know how you're going to get out of this disconnection and this pain. And what it actually is it's like the protection underneath that real tender place that is protecting itself. Yeah. And And the only way that I have been able to move through this with inside of my own personal life, my own relationship, and just with life itself is really learning and connecting very deeply and creating a lot of consciousness around fire. Because I feel like it's so sad that that same fire that can awaken love, potential, and ignite beauty in the world can also spiral all the way down into such disconnection. Yeah. So, so this is really to bring the awareness. There can be that spiraling up, and then there can be that spiraling down. So when you're in that spiraling down and everything feels so disconnected and so contracted, and the fire feels so caught, I'm just going to share a few practices of what I do when I'm in that, and then how I I bring that fire up into my heart, and how I work with that fire as a way to actually transform that pattern in the relationship. So that's the beauty of it. It actually has the potential, that potency that goes into that disconnection and that fight. That that potency also has the potential to awaken your pure power and transform that pattern in the relationship and in your life, and to open your heart and bring you more into your purpose. So I feel like that is a really important piece, is like when you're in that place of total disconnection, to go into that awareness of this fire, this potency, this amount of disconnection and tension and tightness that I have right now has the potential to actually ignite me into love and into potency and into beauty in the world. I just want to speak a little bit about how that fire, when it is spiral all the way down, how it feels in the body. So it can feel like an armoring over the heart, and it can also feel like a real kind of closing down of the hips. I almost feel like a fiery feeling in my hips. Yeah, my heart can go quite like closed and shut down, almost like I've got armor on, and my whole yoni and sexuality is completely closed and tight. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. It can also look like an overactive nervous system, so where you can't sleep or you can't eat, and there's like a lot of shaking in the body. Yeah, so it can go either way. So so everything that I'm sharing with you is bringing awareness into this movement of the two coming together. They're attracted together. There's this potential for healing and for transformation. And the souls know this. And as they come closer and closer together, that fire, that flame starts to ignite, and it touches all of those layers that haven't been loved, all of those places that need to be loved. And when there isn't an infused presence of the masculine and love of the feminine, the inner union, then there's a spiraling downwards into the disconnection, blame, protection, pushing and pulling, closing down of the body. Yeah. Or when there's an infusion of the masculine presence and the feminine love, that fire can be infused with consciousness and can be worked with to transform that pattern in the relationship, and the love can come to heal that place within inside that has been touched in the intimate relating, and there can be a deeper love that opens between the two people, and there can be a more of an unlocking of the potential, and more of life purpose can start to shine through. So this journey that I'm sharing between the man and the woman also happens internally between the inner masculine and feminine. And I've been guiding women for the past 10 years on a journey of sexual awakening, and really this journey of the inner union. And now I'm feeling very called to bring this awakening into relationship between man and woman. So, excuse me, this has really been my journey the last couple of months. I've been in relationship with a really beautiful man who is ready and willing, and we're in a committed container, and we're really working with this fire of love very consciously around transforming and burning our patterns, and also deepening into more and more love and healing those places that need to be loved. So I'm going to guide you now into a practice which will just give you a sense and a taste of what I'm talking about. And I go deeper into this dance in my one-on-one sessions, and also through my workshops. And retreats. There's a 3-day retreat coming up this weekend, and you're more than welcome to register for that. And there's also a 12-month online program that I'm holding at the moment. And there's going to be a 7-day retreat in New Mexico, an in-person retreat. And so you are more than welcome to contact me about any of that. But right now I'm going to just drop you into a practice that actually opened up the last couple of weeks while I was really exploring and deepening into this theme that I'm sharing with you today. All right. So you can just take some time to drop in and to get quiet inside of yourself, and just creating space. So the most important piece of this practice is to first connect with your inner fire. Connect with the potency of your inner fire for transformation and awakening. And to really feel that movement of the fire inside of your sexual essence moving up into the heart. And really that movement of the fire into the heart, that pure life force into the heart, that's really the movement that needs to happen in the relating when there's something that has come up. Yeah. So we're going to start with that. And you're just going to soften your whole body and empty out your mind and relax your chest. And coming all the way down into your belly. And you might even have been feeling, as I was speaking, like a burning sensation, tingles inside of your pelvic bowl. Yeah. And for men, the same. I think there are a few men that are listening in on this call as well. So just connecting with the actual sensation of the fire. Yeah, that flame inside of the body. It's often what we're most scared of. Yeah. Is that fire, because that fire is our power, it's our potential, it's that awakening force. So many people spend a lot of time in their lives trying to numb that fire down, yeah, to feel safe. So you're just going to breathe into that flame, yeah, at the base of your body. And you're just going to feel it as that snake curled up at the base of your body. And just make sure that you have a container around you. And if you don't feel, safe and contained to go into this practice now, you can do it later. There'll be a recording of this Facebook Live, and you can drop into it a little bit later. So very important is to make sure you've got that container, that masculine presence. And you're just breathing into the base of your body. So I can start to feel like when that fire ignites for me, I'm breathing into it. It's like a snake that starts to ripple up my spine. Yeah. So see that my breathing into that fire. And you're just creating a relationship with that fire inside of your body. And this is what fire feels like. So I'm calling the fire of transformation, that power that ignites that flame of love. So it's like it can feel like a little bit of a volcano as well, because it's like shh. It could also just be very subtle and gentle like that. Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I just want, so we're just creating a relationship with that fire, and then feel that fire. Breathe that fire up into the heart. And when you feel the fire coming into the heart, there'll be a softening. Yeah, there'll be an opening. It'll be like a feeling of love, or of a feeling of love when you come into the heart. Okay, so now we've got that connection with the fire coming into the heart. That movement, yeah, is the movement that we're going to move that fire of transformation through the body to, we're going to harness that to bring it into the pattern that is happening in that fiery intimate relating. Yeah, so I'm going to just show you how to work with it. So now what we're going to do is just to come into awareness of an intimate relating where there has been a lot of fire, and that fire has created a pushing away, a disconnection, a blaming. So like everything that I explained to you earlier about when there isn't presence in that fire. And I just want you to bring that situation to you. Yeah. And just bringing that experience up for you. And then I want you to feel the sensation of that fire inside of your body. So we're now going to release and let go of the situation. And I just want you to feel the sensation, yeah, that anger, or that rage, or that pushing, or that feeling, that protection. I just want you to feel that feeling right down in the base of your body. Yeah. And now we're just going to call on that fire. So calling on that fire, the fire for transformation, to actually clear out that pattern that is repeating itself in the relating. So often they can be just like that same thing keeps on happening again and again and again and again. And then you go back into that disconnection, back into that protection. So very importantly is that the mind is empty now. And you're just connecting with that fire, that potency beyond the words, yeah, beyond the flicking out. So we're bringing it in. Just feeling it burn the base of your body. And you're just going to call that fire to transform that pattern, that fire of life. I'm just going to breathe into that fire and just surrender to it, so that when you surrender to that fire, it's just going to start to move and it's going to start to transform and burn out the pattern, but you really have to surrender to it. So I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to surrender to the fire to burn out that pattern. And you might feel hot. So your whole body might feel hot and fiery and tingly. Yeah. And the spine might start to move backwards and forwards. And we keep calling on that fire to transform that pattern. That protection, that disconnection, the pattern that keeps on like hitting up against a wall. Yeah, so we're just bringing that fire. And your body should actually start to soften and open. Yeah, so as I said to you before, when we're in that fire unconsciously, everything shuts down. It's like everything is tight and tense. And as we bring consciousness, we just breathe into that fire. So that fire just starts to, and we're surrendering to that feminine fire, that transformational force of the sexuality. And this is for men as well. Just for her to do her work. And keep the mind empty. And now we're going to start to bring that up into the heart. Bring that fire up into the heart. And as I bring that fire up into the heart, I can start to feel a softening and a love and a compassion. It's like my heart starts to open like a warm embrace. Everything starts to melt. It's like the armor, starts to drop away. Armor, the body, and it's like as I start to bring that fire up into my heart, it's like my feminine essence starts to radiate and soften and open. I start to receive more of the divine feminine love moving through my body. My hips start to soften. It's like my whole pelvic bowl starts to relax, open like a flower. And there are layers to this, so this is a really deep process that I'm guiding you through. So I'm just, touching on the first layers. There's lots of layers, lots of petals that can open here just through working with that fire consciously, transforming the pattern to release that piece that keeps flicking and just softening into the heart. And when we soften into the heart and into that compassion, we have this love for that place inside of us, that tender place inside of us that actually went into the protection. in the first place. So it's usually like a really deep, vulnerable place that has like covered itself up, layers and layers and layers of protection that was touched by the man. Yeah. Or for the man that was touched by the woman's light. Yeah. The man touches the woman with his masculine presence. The man is touched, lit up, yeah, by the woman's radiant light. So it's like those tender places that were touched by the coming together. When we open to the heart, we bring that love. And I can feel now as I'm bringing that love and I'm opening to that love and compassion, I'm just holding that place inside of me. And I'm just filling that place up with love. And then I can also feel my partner and I can see him, and I can bring that love to surround him and in his place of contraction and into that tender place inside of him. So like right now when I'm in the heart, I'm feeling both of our wounding, and I'm just loving. I'm loving both. And I'm bringing compassion. And what starts to happen as that energy starts to move now up, that love starts to move out my throat and up through into the divine, I can start to feel the gifts of our coming together. And I can see them. It's like the souls coming together, and where there's all of this potential and this love and this opening. And then it touches all of those places. And this is really like holding all of this in such sacredness. I'm kind of like bringing this sacred container around us both. Like honoring and cherishing the journey of like the two coming together, those places being touched, the movement that comes this way, the meeting and the healing of those places, the transforming of the pattern. Yeah, so that fire transforms. More of me. I've made more of myself. I've allowed more of myself to be touched. He's allowed more of himself to be touched. So there's more wholeness in the humanness. Just keep breathing that love. Breathing that love around us both, creating that sacred container, honoring the coming together for that transformation. And now I can start to feel more of that spiraling upwards where we're more whole. And where we can see the gift of the two. Yeah, we're more whole within ourselves, and there's more space for deeper love. It's like we've carved out more spaciousness for deeper and deeper love. It's like there's more ground and there's more love. And then there's more of who we truly are that starts to come through out into the world. And then it starts to come the next layer. Yeah, so it's a constant movement cycle. Yeah, this is how they dance. Yeah, this is how they dance. And each time there's a deeper coming together. The deeper places that are touched. Yeah. And we can either go spiraling down into that contraction and just stay there. Yeah. Or we can bring that presence of the masculine, the divine masculine, the love of the feminine, work consciously with that fire. Alchemize it, bring it up into the heart, transform the pattern, meet ourselves more deeply, create more space for that love, awaken more of that flame of that love, of that coming together. And then there's another cycle. So just like that. Yeah. You can feel that dancing all the way up now into the divine, where the souls know. The souls know. Yeah. And there's this constant remembering and forgetting that's happening. So there's that connection in the soul level, connection in the heart level, that connection on the human level. Yeah, the constant bringing that divinity, that divine union down into the human. Yeah. Yeah, and so I've guided you through a journey, yeah, of what I call awakening union, the dance of divine attraction, the fire of love between man and woman. And it's a path that not everyone is called to, but it's a path that I am deeply called to, and what I am living and breathing in the world. And I really hope that today's call was touched you and resonated. And I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear which parts resonated for you, and I would love to guide any man or woman deeper who feels called to go deeper on this journey. So you're very welcome. Now we have a bit of time if you'd like to ask any questions. Otherwise, I am going to have the recording of this call, and it'll be on the timeline, and you can listen to it again later, and you can ask questions later in the feed, and I'd be really happy to answer. Yeah, so just giving a bit of time. Yeah. Okay, so we just take some deep breaths together. And just feeling that masculine container and holding, and that feminine love. And feeling that connection to that fire inside of you, that fire of truth, of your power, of transformation, that really can ignite into your heart, bringing that pure passion, creative potential in the world between the man and the woman, just coming into deep gratitude. It's beautiful to spend this time with you all today. And I look forward to hearing your reflections and any contemplations and questions that you may have. Okay, goodbye for now.